The return. The first clue was a flicker on the deep space scanners. Commander Ellen Rye of Earth's Orbital Defense Hub, Station Alpha 7, had been scanning routine telemetry when she noticed it. A strange spatial ripple, something no physics model could explain. What in the world? She muttered, zooming in on the anomaly. The ripple expanded, folding space in unnatural ways that twisted her perception even in digital view. Lieutenant Park turned from his console. "Commander, I'm picking up quantum signatures that—" "No, that can't be right." "Speak clearly, Lieutenant." "It's the ESV Pathfinder, ma'am, but yet that's not possible." The Pathfinder had been lost, vanished during a mission 3 years earlier. Commander Rye felt a chill. The Pathfinder had been Earth's most cutting-edge science vessel, sent to investigate a mysterious signal beyond the system. 6 months of updates. Then silence. No wreckage was ever found. Families mourned. Memorials were held. "Sound General Quarters," she ordered. "And connect me to Fleet Command." Within moments, Earth's orbital defense systems were fully active. Warships moved to form a blockade around the growing space anomaly. On Earth, every scientific observatory pointed toward the distortion, recording data that defied everything in modern science. Then, like a ghost out of nothingness, the Pathfinder reappeared. At first it looked unchanged, a familiar cylindrical frame, recognizable sensors and engine pods, but close-up scans told a different story. The hull was now etched with moving geometric patterns, like liquid metal flowing in place. Where normal thrusters should have been, glowing crystal-like structures, pulsed silently, somehow propelling the ship. Strangest of all, parts of the hull shifted between solid and see-through, as if the material wasn't bound to a single state. "We're receiving a transmission," Park said, his voice tense. "It's using the Pathfinder's command protocols." The main screen blinked to life. Gasps echoed through the control center. Captain Sophia Chen stared back, but she was different. Her eyes spun with impossible shapes and colors. Her voice echoed in harmonic tones that skipped the speakers and went straight into their thoughts. "Earth Command, this is Captain Chen of the Pathfinder. We have returned, bearing knowledge beyond human grasp. Prepare a team. There's much to share." The feed cut, leaving stunned silence behind. Dr. Marcus Way, Earth's top mind in xenobiology and physics, was tapped to lead the boarding party. Beside him stood Major Samantha Rodriguez and her elite squad, equipped with top-tier defensive gear. "Stick to full containment protocols," Way reminded as their shuttle neared the Pathfinder. "Whatever they brought back could be dangerous beyond prediction." Rodriguez gave a solemn nod. "We're ready. Let's hope your vacuum suits hold up against whatever's out there." Docking went flawlessly, unnervingly so. As the airlock cycled, Dr. Way's instruments gave impossible feedback. Air was normal. But the quantum field was wrong. Patterns that shouldn't exist. "Stay sharp," Rodriguez warned as the doors slid open. Lieutenant James Okafor, Pathfinder's chief engineer, greeted them. His eyes also shimmered with that same shifting geometry. When he grinned, his teeth briefly turned semi-transparent. "Welcome," he said, voice echoing with the same otherworldly harmonics. "The captain's expecting you. Please come with me." The ship's halls looked familiar but altered. Standard design fused with unknown materials. Surfaces looked solid but vanished from scanners. Lights flickered in intentional patterns, whispering meanings straight into the brain. "What happened to you?" Dr. Way asked. Okafor's smile deepened. "We met them. Or they met us. The architects." "The architects?" "That's what we call them. Their real name can't be spoken. It can't even be calculated. They exist differently." The research lab was unrecognizable. At its heart hovered a sphere of metallic fluid suspended without any support. It pulsed with inner lights in complex rhythms. At times, parts became see-through, showing layered structures inside. Captain Chen stood before it, her hands weaving through the air, seemingly influencing the orb's behavior. She turned as they entered, locking her transformed eyes on Dr. Wei. "Dr. Wei," she said calmly, recognizing him despite no past contact. "Your work on quantum entanglement communication, that's what first drew their attention to us." Wei felt a shiver crawl down his spine. His work on quantum entanglement communication had been top secret, buried in classified research never shared with the public. "How do you even know about that?" he asked. "The architects know all there is to know about your kind," she replied calmly. "They've been observing us for thousands of years, waiting for us to reach a critical stage of understanding. Your research was the final signal." Major Rodriguez stepped forward, her tone firm. "Captain Chen, with respect, you and your crew need to undergo medical evaluation and debriefing per Earth protocol." Chen offered a smile, both comforting and eerily inhuman. "Of course, Major. We expected as much. But first, let us show you what we've returned with." She gestured to the shimmering metallic orb. "This is only one of their offerings, a computation device that works not with binary logic, but by manipulating quantum probabilities. It doesn't solve problems the way we understand. It alters reality to favor the most likely outcome." Dr. Wei gazed at the sphere, his mind racing. "That's not computation. That's altering reality. That's impossible." "At their level of science," Okafor added, "that distinction doesn't exist. To the architects, thought and matter are the same. Their devices aren't mechanical, they're mathematical constructs." Captain Chen approached the group, hands relaxed. "We understand your hesitation. In your place, we'd feel the same. But what we've returned with isn't a threat. It's hope. The architects have given humanity the tools to rise beyond Earth, to become part of something greater." She extended a hand, and the air around it shimmered strangely. "Let me show you." Before Rodriguez could intervene, Chen's fingers touched Wei's suit. Instantly, his mind was filled with visions, formulas, ideas, truths so vast and complex it felt like his skull would burst. He saw distant galaxies, alien empires, civilizations rising and falling over eons. He saw the architects, not as creatures, but as currents of energy and information moving through dimensions like thoughts drift through minds. And he understood. When his awareness returned, he was on his knees, with Rodriguez steadying him, weapons trained on Chen. "What did you do?" "To him?" Rodriguez snapped. "I showed him the truth," Chen answered softly. Wei pushed himself upright, still dazed. "She's telling the truth," he breathed. "They're not our enemies. They're mentors." Chen nodded. "They found us drifting in the dark, saw something in us they hadn't seen elsewhere. They examined us, taught us, changed us. And now we've returned to deliver a message." "A message of what?" Rodriguez asked, still wary. Chen's eyes shimmered with something beyond comprehension. "A choice," she said. "Stay chained to Earth, scrapping over what little remains, or embrace what they've offered, and rise to join the sentient civilizations among the stars." The orb pulsed. For a moment, every person there could see past the ship's hull, out, to the stars, not as they were, but as they would be. Human ships crossing space, civilizations spreading through the galaxy. "This is only the beginning," Chen whispered. "The real journey begins now." The transformation word of the Pathfinder's return swept across Earth with unstoppable speed. Despite the military's best efforts, images of the altered ship leaked online, igniting speculation about alien contact. Within days, global governments convened emergency meetings, corporations rushed to stake claims on emerging tech, and spiritual leaders wrestled with the implications of extraterrestrial beings. The Pathfinder remained in high orbit, guarded by a dense military fleet while its crew faced intensive scrutiny. Medical teams discovered their neural pathways had changed in ways science couldn't explain. Their DNA was subtly altered, increasing brain activity and cellular healing. Most alarming of all, the crew could seemingly influence quantum fields through focused intent. Dr. Wei had become Earth's lead liaison to the Pathfinder crew, an appointment that unsettled many in power. Military brass and politicians questioned his neutrality after his contact with Chen, but none could match his insight into what had returned. "They're still human," he insisted in a closed Earth Defense Council meeting. "Changed. Yes, but their minds, their purpose, it's all still rooted in humanity. They've been enhanced, not overwritten." General Helen Ortiz, council chair, leaned forward sharply. "That may be true, Doctor, but what about the architects? Can they be trusted? Advanced civilizations rarely give away technology freely." "According to Chen," Wei replied, "the architects don't operate by motives we understand. They don't compete, conquer, or consume resources like we do. Their goals, so advanced that such concerns are meaningless to them." Dr. Wei continued, "They operate by principles we might call cosmic cultivation. They don't conquer or dominate. They nurture. They plant seeds in species with potential, then watch to see what grows." "And if the species doesn't meet their standards?" asked the delegate from the Asian Alliance. Dr. Wei paused. "Then they move on. They've done so countless times before." The council chambers erupted. Voices clashed. Some called for immediate weaponization of the alien tech. Others demanded the Pathfinder be destroyed before it contaminated Earth. A few urged restraint, emphasizing careful study and controlled implementation. Outside government walls, however, change had already begun. It started with scientists and engineers, those with direct access to leaked data from the Pathfinder. They began to report vivid dreams, visions of blueprints, formulas, and technologies beyond anything known. Some awoke with full designs etched into memory. In Nairobi, a university student built a prototype that pulled clean energy from quantum vacuum fluctuations. In Shanghai, a software collective produced an algorithm capable of mimicking conscious thought. In Rio, a neurologist developed a treatment that regenerated brain tissue with near-miraculous success. None had been in contact with the Pathfinder crew. The knowledge was spreading indirectly, through research, discourse, even something akin to a shared subconscious awakening among the world's brightest, and it was accelerating. 6 months after the Pathfinder's return, Captain Chen convened a global assembly at the newly established Architect Technology Research Center in Geneva. Representatives from every major government, corporation, and scientific body attended. Chen stood at the center of the vast chamber, the metallic sphere beside her, now housed in a containment shell that appeared entirely symbolic. "You've progressed more rapidly than anticipated," she began, eyes scanning the crowd with inhuman calm. "The architects are encouraged." "Encouraged enough to meet with us directly?" asked the UN Secretary General. Chen's smile returned. "They are already meeting with you, through us, through your own evolving technology. The architects aren't discrete entities. They are patterns, woven into the structure of reality itself. Communicating with them isn't about dialogue. It's about resonance." Dr. Wei stepped forward. "What the captain means is that by adopting and evolving the technology we've shared, humanity is learning to speak the architect's language. Every breakthrough brings us into closer alignment." "Does that mean we'll become like you?" asked a member of the Interfaith Consortium, unease clear in his voice. "Not entirely," Chen said gently. "We were directly altered to serve as their messengers. Humanity will transform more organically, guided, yes, but still choosing its own direction." The sphere pulsed. The lights dimmed. Above them, a luminous projection filled the air, a holographic timeline of Earth. First, as it was now. Then, what it could become in 100 years if architect technologies were fully integrated. The vision was breathtaking. Cities merged with the natural world, transportation folding through space rather than crossing it, clean, limitless energy. Humans free from disease, living for centuries in balance with their planet and each other. This is the potential they see in you, Chen said. But the projection shifted. The imagery darkened, ruined cities, polluted skies, resources exhausted. Warring factions wielding weaponized architect tech. Extinction. The choice, Chen continued as the lights returned, is entirely yours. The architects do not interfere. They offer, and they observe. What happens next is not up to them. It's up to you. Dr. Wei's voice broke the silence. This is the test, he said, realization dawning. Not if we can understand the technology, but how we choose to use it. Chen nodded. Exactly. The Pathfinder was just a trial run. Proof that you could grasp what was given. Now comes the real challenge. Proving that humanity is worthy of it. The room was silent. Gravity settling over every leader present. This wasn't just about new science, or a first brush with extraterrestrial life. It was about the soul of civilization, whether humanity would ascend or collapse. In the months that followed, global tensions rose. Nations and corporations raced to reverse engineer and claim dominance over architect-derived breakthroughs. Attempts to replicate the crew's quantum manipulation abilities led to catastrophic reality disruptions. Localized rifts tore through cities, displacing matter and warping time. Thousands died. Markets crashed as technologies outpaced infrastructure. Transformed around emergent technological models, new religions emerged preaching either deliverance or doom from the architects. Amidst the chaos, the Pathfinder crew stayed neutral, offering insight without choosing sides. They collaborated with those who sincerely pursued progress over power. Dr. Wei became their closest ally, striving to share knowledge justly. When corporations tried to patent architect-based inventions, he revealed alternative routes to reach the same ends. When nations threatened conflict over rare materials, he showed how to replicate them from accessible resources. 1 year after Pathfinder's return, the crew summoned a global gathering. The selected site drew attention, a reclaimed patch of Amazon rainforest, rejuvenated after years of damage. Leaders and scientists arrived via standard means as requested. No advanced tech allowed. They found Captain Chen and the crew encircling the metallic sphere, now levitating above wild flora. "Thank you for coming," Chen welcomed. "Today marks a key point in humanity's journey." "What journey are we on exactly?" asked the Chinese Federation's premier, weary from his lengthy trip. "A journey to find your place among the greater cosmic whole," Chen responded. "For a year, we've watched your response to the architect's offerings. We've seen hopeful innovation and troubling ambition." Lieutenant Okafor added, "Some of you healed your world, others tried to weaponize knowledge. Both paths were predictable." "Then why give us the tech at all?" the American president demanded. "If you knew it might be misused." "Because any powerful tool holds dual potential," Chen replied. "The architects don't evaluate isolated acts, but collective motion. Despite setbacks, your arc has been encouraging." Dr. Wei felt cautious hope. "You mean we passed?" "The first test," Chen clarified. "Many more lie ahead, but yes, humanity has earned the next level of insight." The metallic sphere began to glow brighter. Intricate designs radiated outward into the ground, flowing like light through the roots and earth. The gathered assembly stared in wonder as the symbols joined to form a vast system, stretching beyond the grove. "You are witnessing a physical form of what the architects call the connection," said Chen. "It is omnipresent, linking all matter, all minds, all events. Your scientists brush against it in their work. Quantum entanglement, unified theories, But this is its essence. The glowing lines reached the humans' feet, rising along their bodies. Some panicked, but found they couldn't flee. Others observed, enthralled, as the energy revealed nerves, vessels, and cellular intricacy beneath their skin. "Don't be alarmed," Dr. Wei urged. He had known this phenomenon during his own awakening. "They're not altering you. They're letting you see." Everyone present glimpsed the cosmos, as the architects did, not in parts, but as one woven structure of data and force, ever shifting, ever generating. Each person saw their place, small yet crucial, a node of potential ready to blossom. They understood now. The devices from Pathfinder weren't separate machines, but windows into the fabric of reality, waiting to be harmonized with human society. As the shared vision ended, the sphere was gone. In its place stood a sapling, its leaves bearing, those same luminous fractals seen in the eyes of the Pathfinder crew. "This is our last offering," Chen said softly. Her voice no longer echoed unnaturally, and her gaze looked wholly human again. "It is a seed of the connection planted here. As it flourishes, so will your awareness." "And what about you?" Dr. Wei asked, already grasping the truth. "Our duty as messengers is fulfilled," she said, smiling gently. "We'll stay to assist with early integration, but we are human again. The enhancements made by the architects were temporary, only enough to bridge the gap." Lieutenant Okafor affirmed, "Now it's your turn. Humanity must choose how to embrace what we've brought. The architects won't intervene again, unless asked." As conversation broke out among the leaders about what had just occurred, Dr. Wei moved beside Chen. "Was it worth it?" hesked, voice low. 3 years of your lives, the changes, the burden of your mission?" Chen looked up at the sky, now deepening with twilight, stars flickering through the canopy. "We sought knowledge beyond Earth," she said, "and discovered something far richer, a role for humanity in a cosmic purpose." "Yes, Dr. Wei," she added with conviction, "it was worth every moment." Around them, the light patterns of the connection continued expanding, gently altering the forest, not by imposing anything new, but by uncovering what had always been hidden in the fabric of existence. A new era had dawned, one that would one day see Earth's people travel to distant galaxies, not as seekers, but as equals, among a broader assembly of sentient life. And it had all begun with one modest vessel that dared to cross the boundary of the known and return with truths too vast to measure.